gynecologist.
The vagina is usually 3 to 6 inches long.
Vulva, so labia majora, labia minora, vaginal opening, and then opening. Vagina.
Flower. It's a flower. You take care of it. You do what?
Rose coco.
Oh Lord, guy, niko kwa mimba sangapi?
Why is this sleeping? All right, let me ask you something as you recollect.
Yeah.
Your thoughts. Can I call you Rose? Can I call you Rose? Yes, you can call it a rose. And just like how a rose inanukia tu kama rose, the vulva or the vagina is also supposed to smell like a vulva and a vagina. Okay? Leo, it's all about intimate hygiene. Tunataka kujua jamani, how do we care for the vulva? How do we care for the vagina? All right? And we are not by ourselves today. Tutakuwa tunapiga story jamani na Mr. Chris Obwaka. But before I get to introduce our guest hapa kwa set, kumbuka unatupata across the social media platforms, all right? That is Wazzii.ke on Insta, on TikTok, and that is WAZZII.ke. Alafu pia website, the chatbot. Manake unajua, it's good to have not just information, but the right information. And that means unaenda tu pale katika chatbot, WAZZII.ke. Na hashtag ambao unatumia ni space yako the podcast to interact sasa na sisi hapa kwa podcast, all right? Hashtag ambao unatumia ni space yako the podcast. Make sure una comment, una like, una share. Kama pia kuna maswali unaziacha tu pale kwa comment section. And of course, Mr. Chris Obwaka will be more than happy to later on comment na kuwapatia the right information. Sawa. So to my left, tuko na nani?
Marlene.
Why did you say it like that?
Because you said to my left. No, I had too much.
Marlene. Called aura for aura.
Yeah.
All right, to my right. Okay, far right.
My name is Gladwell. Jina langu halijabadilika.
All right. And we have our guest today. Woo. By the way, so he's your gynecologist.
Kabisa.
Yeah.
Huyo gyne wako anaenda wapi? Anaenda kwa Mr. Chris Obwaka, okay? So he's
for reference.
Huku sasa ndio blueprint. Sindio? So he has a vast experience because he is an OB-GYN. I have to say it very slow. Ndo niseme jamani all those letters. Atakuwa anatuambia baadaye what it means, okay? So he has experience in health facilities, both public and private. Na si Africa peke yake. UK, jamani. Paka UK, jamani. Welcome to our safe space.
Thanks, yeah. As you said, Mr. Chris Obwaka, consultant obstetrician gynecologist.
Yes.
So naangalia mambo ya afya ya wanawake. So all things women's health, sexual and reproductive health. Nilisomea huku University of Nairobi, okay. The university.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, that is important. What was the?
Nilisomea hapa alafu 2020 nikaenda ngambo, nilienda UK. I was there for 3.5 years.
All right.
So nimerudi tu January, bado nanuka ndege.
Where is the accent?
Tumeficha huko nyuma.
Jamani huyo.
So tumerudi home.
Yeah.
Tumesema tukuje tusaidie wanawake wa Kenya.
Well, maybe you could shed a little bit of light on what exactly you did. You did at the UK. I am aware you did sonography.
Yeah.
So what is sonography exactly about ultrasounds and everything? Maybe you could explain to our audience.
Yeah.
Tuelewe vizuri.
The two main, nilikuwa huko 3.5 years. The two main things I went to do was work, of course, tafuta do.
Yeah.
And then I was doing women's health ultrasound. So obstetric scanning, so pregnancy scanning.
Yeah.
And then gynecology scanning, vitu kama fibroids, cysts, endometriosis. And then I also went to do what's called minimal access surgery. Okay. Najua kitambo ukiwa na maybe uko na cyst ama uko na fibroids unafanya upasuaji kubwa.
Yes.
But nowadays we're moving more towards the small minimal access surgery is like keyhole surgery. So shimo ndogo ndogo. The largest hole is maybe 1 centimeter.
Okay.
Na unafanya kila kitu. Hata vitu kama hysterectomy, fibroids, kutolewa cysts. Zote unafanywa hapo. Inaweza fanywa kama day case. And home the same day. 2 weeks later you're back at work. less complications. So that's the, I don't call it the future, it's the present.
Advanced.
Yeah.
All right.
So nowadays usifanyiwe upasuaji kubwa kama unaweza fanyiwa upasuaji ndogo.
Oh, I wanted maybe a minute,
Yeah.
a clarification on exactly the minimal access surgery that you've mentioned. How different is it from cosmetic gynecology, whereby they do correction of the vulva in terms of like its appearance? How different is whatever you studied and this other bit?
Yeah, so cosmetic gynecology is just, they deal with issues to do with, for example, mtu amepata FGM, correct the appearance.
Okay.
Somebody who feels like the labia are too big on one side or big on the other side. Mtu amekuwa na trauma, maybe ameanguka kwa baiskeli, kitu kama hiyo. Even people with cancer who have had cancer and have had to have surgery to remove like a part of the vulva, then they deal with that. Cosmetic gynecology pia ina deal na vitu kama, have you heard of O shots?
Not really.
Vaginal tightening.
That one we have.
Vitu kama hizo.
Yeah.
So that's all cosmetic gynae. Sasa minimal access surgery is like the typical surgery you do as open surgery, lakini sasa tunafanya kwa njia ndogo.
Okay.
Yeah, so much less complications, faster home, unakaa hosi one day, less bleeding, less infection. Like it's brilliant.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
All right, so OB-GYN, manake obstetrician, that means you deal with
Pregnant
prenatal,
women? Yes.
mpaka delivery, sindio?
Yeah, so that's the obstetrics part. Yeah.
Yes,
Obstetrics
alafu-
is pregnancy, and then gynecology ni everything
Reproductive
else.
system sasa, sindio?
Ma infections,
Yes.
ma growths kwa tumbo, pap smears. Hizo zote ni sasa ni gynecology.
Okay. All right. So someone would ask, manake sasa kwa hii panel, alafu leo tunaongea kuhusu intimate hygiene. So the vulvas, the vaginas. So why did we have like male OB-GYN with us on set?
Male OB-GYN.
Yeah, sindio? Because women normally argue like that. Like,
Yeah.
mbona ni mwanaume anakuja kutuambia jamani tutaoshaje?
Mambo ya nini?
Tutafanya vipi? Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of the patients who come to me wanasema wana prefer male gyna because we are less judgmental, and then we can provide care without preconceived notions. So maybe ukienda kwa an older female gyna, hata ukimwambia niko na period pain, atasema si hata mimi nimekuwa na hiyo. That's a normal thing to have. But for us, we have never experienced period pain, so I can't minimize it, so to speak. And then a lot of patients also feel like it's easier to talk to us, again, because of the non-judgmental kind of thing.
Okay.
So I think there are different types of people. Kuna watu wanapenda only female gynas, na kuna watu wanapenda only male gynas.
It's true.
So what we are trying to do nowadays, even like in my future practice, is to have one male gyna, one female gyna. So unakuwa all inclusive.
All round.
Yeah.
Okay. So huwa tunaanza na like a fun fact or just scientific facts as well. So it's called Space Spice.
Space Spice.
Yeah.
Space Spice.
Spicing up the episode.
So today is Marlene who's going to read it for us.
Okay.
I don't want even to comment on this because what I'm going to say. But anyway, you already know.
I know, but carry on.
Yeah.
Is it the formal
I want
thing?
to. No, it's the inches. I want you to confirm this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So on our specified segment today, it says the vagina has become a popular umbrella term for the female genitalia, but our intimate areas have many different parts. The vagina is the internal muscular canal that extends from the cervix to the uterus. The vagina is usually 3 to 6 inches long. The vulva is the external part of the reproductive system. The vulva includes the labia majora and the labia minora, as well as the clitoris.
We are all expectant.
Now, is it true? Like, do we have people with long, like 6 inches?
Yes. So everybody's anatomy is very different. Some people have shorter vaginas, some people have longer vaginas. So when we say average or range, it's most people fall within this, but there are some people with shorter, there are some people with longer. Ni maumbile tu, vile ulizaliwa. I think there's a loaded question there.
Say it with your chest.
Marlene, we found this space yesterday.
Yeah.
So Marlene, I found out. So are you supposed to match your inches with your mandem?
No. So with intercourse, you don't have to feel.
So
it's
listen,
not
kama you're 3 inches, like if you're supposed to now find a man
Yeah, because
who's
I was
3
3
saying,
inches.
like
No.
someone with 3 inches and then someone 6 inches. Sitaja pomoni and then
So I think
Anyway.
maybe the analogy I could use, it's not like shoes. Ukienda kununua viatu ukiwa size 7 feet, lazima ununue size 7 shoes. It's not
okay.
like that. Because actually for pleasure, for sexual pleasure, orgasms and everything, it's mostly around what's called the introitus, like the opening of the vagina. That's where most of the nerve endings are.
Pardon?
And
The
then
introitus?
introitus. Yeah, that's a vaginal opening.
Okay.
And the
That's new.
clitoris. So orgasms are clitoral orgasms or vaginal orgasms. So you don't get pleasure from, like you don't get
The
orgasm
far
from the
end of-
cervix. Yeah. So even if you have a 6-inch vagina, say, and you have a partner who's 2 inches, for example, it's still, you can still derive pleasure from that.
Really?
Yeah.
Mambo ni mengi sana. Jamani sijui una derive vipi from 2 inches, lakini naomba tuingie kwa mjadala.
Wanasema it's the motion of the ocean, not the size of the boat.
Hiyo jamani,
let's get into that.
let's just tumeenda sana, lakini sasa naomba turudi kwa intimate hygiene, right? So tumeanza vizuri na naming the part. So unaweza kutuambia daktari, it's Mr. because once you start ukianza kusoma unaanza as a Mr, then you become doctor, then you go back to Mr.
Yeah.
So I'm very normally sensitive with the titles. So it's Mr. So I'm sorry.
As a true African. Call me by my right name.
So we can start by tuanze na hapo by naming the parts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So genitalia is generally your reproductive system, yeah?
Yeah.
So you have internal and external. So vulva is part of external genitalia, like chenye unaweza kuona kutoka nje.
Okay.
So it starts all the way from what's called the mons pubis. So mons pubis is the fatty pad with hair just above your clitoris.
Okay.
So you inaitwa mons pubis. The function is cushioning. So like when you're sexually active, then there's no pain, so to speak. Like it's not bone on bone, it's bone on fat or fat on fat. Yeah? Forget
Okay.
us.
It's just
Actual fat
here.
on the
And so I was like cautioning. Okay.
Yeah. So mons pubis is there where you have your pubic hair.
Yes.
Under that, it's a fatty area.
Yes.
I think there's a term Gen Z's use now. It's
What is
A fupa.
a fupa.
Yes.
Yeah. So fupa, the medical term is mons pubis, MONS pubis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then going downwards now, then you have your clitoris. And then covering the clitoris is something called a clitoral hood. It's like ile
Kuna hoodie.
hood. So like actually like a hood, but it's a covering of skin over the clitoris.
Clitoris, yeah.
So clitoris has the highest concentration of nerve endings. So that's the most sensitive part of your external genitalia.
Yeah.
And then the hood is a protective thing. And then you have your labia majora, which is the outside lips, so to speak. And those are now covering internal structures. Then inside the labia majora, you have labia minora. Then inside labia minora, now you have the vaginal opening. So you have like layers going inwards. Yeah.
And the urethra opening.
Then the urethra, so you have your vaginal opening here,
Yeah.
and then the urethral opening is right above. So people ask, how many holes do I have? So kuna tatu. So kuna urethra where your urine comes out from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you have a vaginal opening,
Yeah.
which is used for sex and menstruation
Yeah.
and delivery. And then you have your anal opening.
Yeah.
Nje ya choo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so those are your 3 openings. But because they're in such proximity to each other, you can get, like for example, for UTIs, most of the causes of UTIs are from bacteria from the back passage.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's why we advise girls on how to wipe
Yes.
front to back and stuff like that.
All right. So, a perception yako, Marlene. So I'll start with Marlene. Then I'll also get your perception. So this is how we're gonna hold the conversation because you're the expert. So you're going to have the final word.
Okay.
So you just get to hear what our thoughts
Tusikie
are.
mauongo kwanza.
Misconceptions.
I love how to correct. So growing up, sijui perception yako ilikuwa gani? Depending on the influence around you, labda family or friends or what you are watching about your intimate parts.
About my intimate parts.
Yeah.
Perception. In what sense, really?
Kama vile sasa kama unaona now daktari has mentioned the parts. So unajua okay, kuna urethra opening, kuna vaginal opening. So menses most of the time tulikuwa tujui inatoka unajua inatoka shimo gani kama the same place where you get your period is the same place where you also urine comes out as well.
Okay. Hey, I don't have any
Yeah.
in particular, but I just remind us, ile, we were told it's a flower, you take care of it, and then
Okay.
the day you go to hold the mirror and look at it, you're like,
It doesn't look like
hey.
a flower.
Hakuna
Yeah, I
maua.
think that. But I don't think I had like perception per se.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like okay. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Gladwell, what was your perception about your intimate parts before now you discovered what it is?
My perception was just that it's a private part in the sense that no one else should see it. So I recall I have a story. I normally have stories to all these. I was in kindergarten at the time, and then we used to have these, let me say, foreigners. I don't know if they were sponsors at our school at the time. I was just maybe 4 or 5 years old. I'm not quite sure what exactly they were doing at our school. So they normally came to our classes. Maybe they'd say hi. When we go to assembly, they have some gifts for all of us. And I was actually a bright student. So we joto nilikuwa napata some gifts huko. So there happened to be a period of time, ilikuwa like tea break. We went to the washrooms. So when we went to the washrooms, zetu at the time, nakumbuka vizuri sana, tungeingia choo moja tukiwa tu wingi like bora
In
we're just
kindergarten.
girls, yeah,
Yeah.
bora we're just girls, tunashare choo moja, wasichana watatu, you're just peeing, you're not even using the bowl, you're just peeing on the ground, itaenda kwa bowl vile itafika, you get it. So like vile niliambia my mom that piece of information, then she was trying to like kind of emphasize that nobody should just see you
Yeah.
peeing because you have to hide some
Yeah.
bits of your body. Okay, see
Yeah.
some bits of your body. Parts of your body, such as your vagina. I told you, kwetu tulikuwa tunaita bobo.
Yeah.
Like, that was the term. I don't know, you've heard of that term before?
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about
Exactly.
the wrong use of names.
The wrong use of
Yeah.
names. So it's like, mtu hafai kuwa na bobo yako, you hide it. So I think that's just the perception. I'm like, hata nikitoka,
Kujifunika.
exactly, ukitoka ka you used to like showering, like unatolewa kwa bafu unaenda tuko umejishikilia
Yeah.
hivi. Like every other part can be seen, but not my private
Yes.
part.
Yeah.
So that's the perception.
It's true. Manake hata sasa us now growing up in Mombasa, you could, of course, as a child, you could chill in your panty, but kwa sababu ya joto, you can chill in your panty only without, the top ama nini, but you have to cover
Yeah.
yourself. So that was, unajua kwa sababu ya influences around.
Yeah.
Yani you're always you're taught to be keen about covering yourself. Yes.
Kujistiri.
Kujistiri. Exactly.
Kujistiri.
Oh, I've remembered.
Kujistiri.
You see now, for me, something has just hit me. I used to wonder, me and my friends, why boys will pee while standing and us will
You're crouching.
Yeah, crouching. So there's a day we were whipped. What?
Ulisimama.
We were standing, like all of us. For real, we were standing and doing this and peeing
Yeah, like the
to
boys.
Tarazo. Yeah, like the boys, because it never made sense to us. We were like,
Yeah.
why? Them, they're standing as you have. What is happening? Yeah,
Yeah.
so, hey, that day we were whipped anyway. Yeah.
Also, another thing that I used to wonder as a child, why would the boys just pee anywhere? But for you, lazima ungepelekwa
You hide.
mahali
Ujifiche.
Yeah, you get, huh?
Yeah, those
so that was
bad
now
bits.
the influences around now growing up. So sahi after you discover yourself and now you're grown and everything else, how did you now get to know Gladwell? Unakaa vipi uko chini?
Haya. Nakumbuka kulikuwa na some graphic kinds of books that we were using. Sitaki kusema ni KLB because that was kwa ni KLB. Walikuwa natuonyesha like the body of tuseme a young person, then a person going through puberty, na bado the body of a full grown adult. Sindio? So I'm a late bloomer. I keep on emphasizing that a lot. So mimi naona tu kwa picha, naona kutakuwa like na a lot of pubic hair hapa nini, hips broadening and the boobs and everything like such as that. Then I don't know if I'm allowed to say this. Si tulikuwa tuna mass shower when I was in boarding school, like primary, from like class 6 to like class 8. So tulikuwa tunaoga pamoja. I mean, you could see people. I'm like, this person has boobs, this person has pubic hair, this person is like this, and you're quite aware of like people's bodies around you.
Yeah.
You're different. Kila mtu anakaa different. So I mean, there is that. Your part, yeah. I actually saw, apart from like seeing from books, I actually saw.
No, not actually the people that like sasa wewe mwenyewe
Or
and
kujionea.
yes. Is it mirrors? Because some people use mirrors. Some people just take pictures. Some people record videos.
Yeah. I didn't quite use mirrors or anything. Mine was just nilikuwa tunago na the flow. I guess nilikuja kujua stuff about using mirrors when I was watching ilikuwa nini stuff za Love Island and everything. Walikuwa nafunzwa about taking care of your yoni. Like manifesting, use a mirror.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, people do this.
Yeah.
But like
People do this.
Marlene is quite recent. So first I'll take us back. So for me, there used to be this, which was really bad. There used to be this isn't in his pornographic collections. So you know
The
them?
magazines?
Not magazine CD. The
So an
don't
actual
know.
compact
a
disc.
compact disc. So it used to have hiyo nini
Cover.
hiyo cover yake imekwa you see like kama zile movies za DJ Afro venye zinakwanga na collection volume 1A hivyo so we used to have access to those while in primary and then what we used to see on the textbooks were different from what we used to see here because here now it was like everything you wouldn't want to see and then here it's just the drawings that Gladwell is talking about and all this. So after one time we had like a reproductive health talk, we were told, go look at the mirror, the flower I keep talking about. It's a flower. You take care of it.
Yeah.
You do what. That day I held a mirror.
It wasn't a flower.
Rose coco.
It was very... Ilikuwa rose coco. I think it is.
Yeah, that is bad. Haikuwa rose coco. But anyway, yeah. So I think that is when now I started to discover. And with time, yeah.
Got used to it.
Yeah, I sometimes just take time to groom.
I think for men, mnashanga mbona sasa si tunakuanga na vitu mingi. But you see for you guys just straightforward. You just look down and you see it. But see for us it's so many things that you still need to discover. The majora, minora,
The hoodie.
I even know we have a whole hood, yeah?
Yeah.
That mirror thing is really, really important because we
Why
say
is
you
that?
can't know. How will you know if something's abnormal if you don't know what your normal looks like? And then it's important for guys to know that they're not all the same. So ikichorwa kwa book, you can think that all of them are supposed to look like this.
Yeah.
But everybody's vulva and vagina genitalia is very different. So we advise you to take a mirror, have a look at yours. You have to know how it looks. Sometimes you'll find like the lips are different shape. One side may be different from the other side. The pigmentation may be different. The color may be different.
Yes.
So everybody's vulva is very different. So just the same way you look at your face every day, you'll notice a pimple immediately. But if you never looked at your face, how will you know if there's anything on your face? That kind of thing. Yeah. For men, as you said, it's much easier because everything is
it's just one
external.
thing. Yeah.
So it's easier for us to see. But even for men, we still advise them to examine themselves, like the testicles especially. So if there's a new mass, then you know what yours feels like. So for ladies, it's what it looks like, what it smells like, what kind of discharge is normal for you. So if anything changes, then you pick it up immediately. Unaenda kwa doki, unasotiwa.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is we take 24 hours, a few hours from 24 hours to fear men, and also to use mirrors to look at our vulvas.
Exactly.
Mambo ni mengi jamani, mambo ni mengi. All right, so now kama tumeenda sana and bado hatujaingia katika intimate hygiene, si ndio? And ume-mention pia about discharge. So I feel the do's and don'ts ndo zitatu guide pia mpaka pale kwa discharge, yeah? Because I feel huwa inakuja na tamper with, our pH.
Yeah.
And the discharge now pia it's affected in the process, right? So tuanze na the do's. How are we supposed to care for our vulvas, our vaginas?
So in caring for your vulva, vagina, it's what you put on it, what you put in it, and what you do with it.
What you put on it.
On it, what you put in it, and what you do with it. So kama ni what you put on it now is how to keep it clean.
Okay.
And what comes in contact with it. So a big thing now, it's a very commercial thing is vaginal hygiene washes. I'm sure umezisikia.
Yeah.
You don't need, and somebody asked me on Instagram, can I use, am I allowed to mention like a name of a product?
Yes.
Okay, am I allowed to use FemFresh? Because
Yeah.
that's like a very common one. And then I said, yes, you can use FemFresh if you don't have clean water and gentle soap. So cleaning your vulva, you only need soap. You only need water. If you really, really want, you can use a gentle, unscented soap. So anything without a smell, anything that's gentle. So think of like vitu za watoi, like baby soap, for example, without any scent, without any harsh chemicals, so to speak.
Na sabuni
So
ya
it's
The
kipande.
kinakasons.
sabuni ya kipande is
Is.
gentle unscented soap, yeah. So hata watu wako na maybe eczema ama skin
Yeah.
conditions, they usually advise to use
Unscented.
bar soap, sabuni ya kipande, which is yeah, because that's quite plain to say.
Haya, so tumeenda sana. I want us to break it down.
Yeah.
Kwa sababu you've mentioned soaps, you've mentioned cleansers, you've mentioned a wash. Aya, so soap or no soap?
Soap, yes, you can use, but should be gentle unscented soaps. Cleansers, you don't have to use. You don't have to cleanse your vagina. Gels, you don't have to apply any gel. You don't need to do any of that stuff.
Vagina.
Na wash?
Na hiyo ni nje. Wash, you don't need a vaginal wash. You just need soap and, just need clean water and gentle unscented soap.
Turudi tena, selector. Now, what I saw, what I've seen, I don't know if that's what I do. Lakini wanasema the vulva you can use vile wanasema unscented soaps ndio kama kipande unaweza kutumia pale kwa vulva. But now so unaona this is the vulva and so kuja chini kwa vaginal sasa hapo ndio where the wash like the vaginal wash kama vile umesema Femfresh
For example.
yeah. So sabuni unatumia wapi na kama hiyo vile ulikuwa unasema the Femfresh is that now that comes down to up the vaginal opening ama
So
how do you
the
differentiate?
vagina is not. So the vagina is inside the vulva. So unaenda vulva, so labia majora, labia minora, vaginal opening,
Oh,
and
the
then
opening.
vagina.
Yeah.
So vagina iko nyuma, sio ati chini.
Oh, sorry, the opening, the vaginal, opening. Yes.
So in the vagina itself is a
canal.
It's a self-cleaning organ.
Okay.
It's just like mtu anakuuliza unatumia nini kuosha figo, kuosha moyo wako. Like it's an internal organ. It cleans itself. It has its own mechanism. So it has its own pH.
Okay.
So pH is usually for the vagina is acidic, like usually 3.8 to 5 point something, 5.5 about. So that being acidic then also protects it against infections, bacteria. So bacteria haiwezi thrive kwa pH iko acidic. And then now you have good bacteria in your vagina, which also help to fight against infection. So sijui kama umesikia vitu kama bacterial vaginosis when the bacteria is imbalanced. So if you have more of your bad bacteria, then you get BV. If you have a good balance, then that sorts it. And then you have discharge as well. So people think discharge is bad, but discharge is protective. So there's normal discharge and then there's abnormal discharge. The normal discharge cleans itself out. So ukiona discharge, you have many glands that produce like mucus and discharge.
Yeah.
Na hiyo ikitoka inajisafisha. So it's a self-cleaning organ.
The vagina.
So, you don't need, the only things probably you can't put in your vagina is tampons, penis. That's it.
Menstrual cup.
Menstrual cups is
Kama
fine.
utaki kuweka penis.
Yeah. But you don't need to put, I'm sure there's like, you've heard of thousands of products that supposedly clean your vagina, but the message is you don't need to clean your vagina. If you have a bad smell, if you have offensive discharge, you don't need to clean your vagina, you need to see a gynecologist.
Okay, let me ask this, yeah? Because, so for me, like, knowing what is scented and what is not scented, actually nowadays it's difficult because even the kipande, they have a smell. So I don't know if that is the scent. So what is scented and what is not? And then on that, can you use like just soap for the hair? Like, because we know hair carries a lot of moisture,
hair. Yes.
And nini. So, now cleaning this vagina is starting to become a whole procedure in chemistry. You clean here, you stop, you start cleaning here. So what is scented and what is not
So
scented?
you can look at the ingredients of the soap. So if it has something called parfum, so parfum is like perfume. Then that's scented soap. Yeah. For the
Kipande wao
mons
wanaandika kama kuna
sijaisomea
Sijai
kipande.
soma.
Hata ni
kipande sijai kuona.
Yeah, but I mean, as you mentioned, for the hairy part, the mons pubis, yes, that you can wash like any other part of your body. But lower than that, ukienda kwa vulva, ukienda kwa vagina. So the back passage, of course, njia ya choo, you can wash with anything. But between the njia ya choo and mons pubis, then that area doesn't need any. And then the other thing people do is scrub as well.
Yes,
So what wanatumia zile like
makoge,
naturally,
kagunia,
gunia, makoge, they're called what? Are they called loofahs or something?
Loofahs, yeah.
Ile mnyama it's
Those
a sea
plastic
animal,
one,
like, it's a
yeah.
sea thing, yeah? I don't know, it's a sea plant or whatever. Anyway, zile mrefu hivi
Zile
unaweza
ziko
kata,
brown,
bas. So you shouldn't, like, if you're scrubbing your vulva, then you're causing micro abrasions, micro tears, and any place which has abrasions or tears then is more likely to get infections. So I think it's like a mindset, like that societal thing of your vagina is dirty. That's why people are embarrassed about it. That's why it's called, people don't even
That's
call it by
bad.
the right names.
Yeah.
Like what wanaita
It's sad.
poop, pee, dudu.
Susu.
Yeah, susu. And that's why also we don't talk to our kids about sex education because
Yeah.
of the embarrassment around it. But kids should know that this is called a penis, this is called testicles, this is called a vagina, these are your breasts. And that also helps now bring that conversation of how they can take care of themselves and protect themselves around it. So they know this is my vagina, this is its function, this is when I should start using it and for this purpose. Vitu kaa hizo.
Haya, so the don'ts umetaja tu kidogo, which you said, unajua kama unaoga na kagunia, kama unaoga na ile makonge, kama unaoga na loofahs, usisugue kama sufuria, jamani. All right? Usisugue kama sufuria ya ugali. And then, pia don'ts ambazo umetaja kidogo is, the vagina is a self-cleansing organ.
Yeah.
So, hapo kwa don'ts, kuna kitu inaitwa douching.
Don't douche.
Ile sasa douching wale watu waelewi. In layman's language. Unaosha kama thermos. Usiingize vitu huko unafanya hivi.
Yeah. So
That
the
is
douche is
douching.
like, it's very commercial.
Yeah.
So there's like even commercially available products. It looks like a small container with like a tube. So you put the tube inside. Some people put like vinegar and water combination. Some people just put water. Some people put other chemicals. And then you basically squirt or spray into your vagina. Ukifikiria unasafisha. But by doing that, you're killing the good bacteria. You're altering the pH of your vagina. So inevitably it causes more harm than good. So don't spray anything into your vagina. Don't use yoni pearls, yoni balls, all those things. Don't put herbal products in your vagina.
Yeah, about yonis.
You don't need to. All these things like vaginal tightening, caustic sodas, and like
Boric acid.
oh my goodness. Boric acid. So boric acid, yes, it's a medical product, but has a specific use.
Yeah.
So we use it in people who have like, so for every condition, tunasema hii ni first line, hii isipowork, unatumia second line, hii isipowork. So boric acid is like third line for treatment of yeast infections. When all the standard things
Have failed.
Then you see your doctor, we do more specialized tests for fungal infections, and then we can prescribe you the boric acid and tell you what to look out for. Because I mean, hata ukifanya chemistry shule, kitu inaitwa acid.
Haikuwa kitu-
Can you
haikuwa
put it in your
kitu poa.
vagina? Because acid is corrosive. Acid affects your pH. Acid affects kills bacteria as well.
Okay, take me back to the soap, yeah? I just want to understand this and get this straight.
Yeah.
So we have the scents, which you've clarified, but then we have flavors. Like this is lemon, this is natural, this is aloe vera. Do those have effects on?
So those are called scents.
So if it's a strawberry
not
flavor,
flavor?
it's not.
No,
'cause
flavor is
you don't taste soap, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like even like flavored
also
condoms.
don't-
The flavored
yeah, that's what I
condoms.
wanted to say.
It's not the taste of the condom; it's a smell. Like when you have sex, then there's a
Scent.
strawberry scent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Flavors ni kama unakunywa maziwa ambao ni vanilla flavor. But scent now is the scent. Like let's say this is lavender scent.
Okay.
I have actually gotten another perspective from Marlene's question, and I kind of agree with you. So my question would be, if at all somebody uses a soap that is lemon flavored,
Scented as well, yeah.
scented, okay. Assuming we do know that lemon has citric acid, so is it something that is gonna alter with somebody's pH balance?
Yeah.
Assuming that the vagina is also acidic.
So it's not only the scent, or it's also the other components. So if you look at all these cleansers, and if you look at the ingredient list, you'll really be scared of what they have. So they have all different types of acids. They have different types of preservatives. They have chemicals that now make that foam and everything.
Yeah.
So you don't need any of those chemicals on your vulva. So it's like you're trying to clean a thing that doesn't need to be cleaned. It's just counterintuitive. Like ushaambiwa, your vagina cleans itself. Why then? Again, it comes back to the mindset. Like your vagina is not dirty. Your vagina is not unclean. Your vagina is not a place that needs to be scrubbed squeaky clean. Yeah. So I think the first thing is changing the mindset of people. Like stop thinking that you're dirty. You're not dirty.
Wacha kusema fish.
I was about
Fishy
to ask
smell.
that.
So
and
there's
that comes from you guys.
Yeah. So the vagina
fishy
itself
smell.
has a natural scent. Let me call it. I don't want to call it a smell because smell has like negative connotations.
True.
Okay.
So has a natural scent. Usually it's described as a soft, musty scent. So everyone's vagina has a particular smell according to like what you eat, your immune system, the type of discharge, the time of your cycle, your hormonal balance, all that stuff. All that stuff affects your scent. But again, that's why I said know what's normal for you. So everyone has a scent. If you find that your scent has changed, and especially if you have a smell, then you have discharge, you have itching, you have pain with intercourse, you have abnormal bleeding, like una bleed silently or time your periods.
Yeah.
Then all those, I get 1,000 of these questions in my Instagram. All those questions, everyone knows what they need to do, but people still
Ask.
look for a way out. Like, ukinitumia message uniambie, I have green discharge, is smelling, and niko na uchungu. You know what you need to do.
Ukweli.
Yeah.
And by the way, so saying nataka tuingia hapo kwa discharge kidogo. I don't know kama the cleaning you okay?
Oh, I just wanted to ask, because I don't think we'll get back into this. Do you have a specific, you can name a brand maybe, of soap that people can use to clean? And then also the idea of not using soap down there, and we know water flows down. Can that also affect the pH in some way?
No. So if it's flowing down, first of all, it's like diluted, so to speak. So it's not the soap which is coming in contact with your vulva. It's just soapy water, so to speak. And that you're not. So when you use soap and then you're like scrubbing soap onto your vagina, then you're also causing friction. And if you're using those loofahs and makonge,
Kagunia.
and everything. So all the effects are worsened because of the friction and those micro abrasions and micro tears. But of course, you can't avoid if you're showering normally and it passes there, then there's nothing you can do. But then, of course, you're rinsing yourself out well.
Okay.
Yeah. So the good showers are the ones with the ile unaweza kuvuta, the
Arabian
like
shower.
bidets and things like that. Then you can rinse yourself out quite nicely.
I have gotten a concern from that bit. Umesema, ati when you're rinsing yourself, then sijui, is there a possibility that the water will go inside?
No,
really?
no.
It won't?
I mean, because the canal goes upwards.
Yeah.
So unless your water is going against gravity, but first of all, it
That
goes
will be
upwards,
impractical.
and then also you have layers between your vagina and the outside. So you have your labia majora, the large lips,
Okay.
and then you have labia minora inside those. So it's like doors. So
But
before,
those layers are not like, okay.
But they're
I'm
together.
overthinking. They're like really
so
tiny.
they're not closed like a door, but they're opposed. Opposed means
they
they're
lie on-
together. Yeah.
Okay.
So your vagina is not open like this. It's always covered and layers like that, if that makes sense.
It does.
Like zimefungana.
Yeah.
Na
They
they're
overlap.
like, they overlap. and
Vagina
they lie on
zote
each other.
zimefungana.
Yes.
Okay, sawa. I won't ask
Lakini
anymore.
lakini ukisimama ukioga zimefungana pia bado.
Hata ukitembea zimefungana tu.
Hata ukitembea. I mean, that's why if you want to, I don't know, like, if you want to maybe put a tampon, then you have to spread your vaginal lips to put in a tampon. Otherwise, ingekuwa tu wazi soon. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you have to stand
I
at
don't
an
know about
angle.
that. I should see.
You have to stand at an angle. That is true.
Yeah.
Okay, about the brand now. Like any specific.
So I'm not allowed to.
Oh, okay.
I'm not allowed to
okay.
promote a certain brand. As
No,
a,
but
What
then
do you normally recommend
Yeah.
to patients?
So maybe like I'll say a lot of patients use Dove.
Yeah,
So
I've
Dove,
seen
Dove
that.
is the most commonly preferred one. And then, of course, Kipande soap as well.
Yeah.
It's quite cheap as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I can't say
Sasa,
one is better than the other. Because again, I'm not, as you said, I'm not a woman. Yeah. But that's what I would
people
say
use.
patients use, yeah.
Okay.
Kuna vitu, sijui kama umesikia. So, you see how our inner thighs are normally darker. That area, yeah? It's darker. So, kuna sabuni ambazo watu sasa wanatumia for the inner thighs. So, how do you people who go for these products to lighten your inner thighs.
Yeah.
How do you use that? And it doesn't affect your entire pH.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Because
your-
of course it's in concentrated soaps, ama lotions,
Chemicals.
ama
Lightening
oils.
creams.
So your thighs are naturally darker because of friction. So as you
Yeah.
walk, you've been walking all your life, they've been rubbing on each other. So they will definitely be darker. So it's a cosmetic thing rather than a medical problem.
Okay.
Like dark thighs is not a medical problem, if that makes sense. We don't recommend lightening your skin. Because for you to lighten your skin, then basically you're using products with bleach.
Yes.
Yeah. So skin bleaching and all that stuff. So that's definitely not recommended. And if you're applying stuff on your inner thighs or your upper thighs, then inevitably then it might come in
The
contact
vaginal
with your
opening.
vulva and your vagina. And that now will give you more problems than you had.
What about perfumes and deos and sprays? Vaginal perfumes, deos and sprays.
So you shouldn't use any vaginal deos. You shouldn't spray anything on or in your vagina. You shouldn't do scented bubble baths as well. Those can be potentially harmful.
Oh.
Especially the ones with the very strong scents, and you're sitting in a bathtub lying in a bathtub for an hour.
Yeah.
Then you're just exposing yourself to that for an hour. So again, goes back to that thing of it's not dirty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hot water.
Yeah.
Is
Vaginal
hot
steaming.
water.
Oh man.
Not
I've seen-
there is steaming, but then there is like showering with hot water or having
Yeah.
the bathtubs, the
Yeah.
saunas, all that. How does that affect our vaginas?
So you can get burns. So the vaginal, the vulval mucosa or the vulval skin, and the mucosa is like the inner line, like on the inside of your cheek is called a mucosa. That that type of tissue, and that's the same tissue that's found in your vagina, in your anal canal as well. So it's very sensitive. So it's like drinking very hot tea. So utachomeka.
Yeah.
So the same way. I mean, the skin outside is a bit more hardy, different type of tissue there. But warm water is what's still recommended. So again, it ties in with that thing of steaming. So people put herbs in a
Then you sit in
herbs in a
them.
bowl, and then you sit over it, and then supposedly the vapors are supposed to come up
Yeah.
with the
Going
herbs.
to the vagina.
So inaingia ndani, yeah. But
Yeah.
like I think when we mention these things, even you when you think about it, like, what was I
It's
doing?
crazy.
Yeah.
What was I doing? Yeah. So a lot of these things, you're influenced by people. So you see like all these things coming in fads and things. They're like TikTok, everyone is talking about this thing. Wacha nijaribu.
True.
Yeah, but you should just go to the underlying thing. Like, is it a psychology thing? Like,
Yeah.
It
you
is.
think you're not, you don't look like everybody else. You're not beautiful down there.
Don't smell.
You don't smell right. You
Yeah.
don't. Your discharge is not normal. But we say, I mean, all those things. If you're not sure, go to a specialist.
Yeah.
Because
Yes.
we have seen, like, we have studied this for years and years, and we have seen millions of patients. So we can tell you, like, this is not normal. This is normal. This is a variant of normal. That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an interesting concern. Okay, there is this bit. Sijui kama na digress, but it's still touching on the vagina. Do you know there's some people who get started there? They
Yeah.
go get starts over there. So one, how is it first of all, is it okay? Then two, let's look at somebody who's started themselves at their vaginal area or the vulva rather. And then they have to care for that tattoo. So they need to still apply some things that like what is the medical kind of opinion surrounding tattoos over there and even caring for tattoos over
And
there?
piercings as
Yeah,
well.
and piercings.
Piercings, yeah.
yeah.
So, fun fact, piercings, tattoos on your vulva are a type of FGM.
Oh, there's some this.
They're termed
No
as FGM
way.
type 4. Yeah.
Drawing a cartoon over here.
Not
That
here,
is-
that's your tummy. Like on your vulva.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just that I can't touch it, but over there.
Yeah. It is considered FGM
No
because
way.
you're it's an old term, but
Mutilating.
you're mutilating your vagina. So even people with like clitoral, like that hood we talked about, people have
The piercing
clitoral
there.
piercings. That's
Yeah.
considered a type of FGM.
I heard
way.
about the piercing, and they were saying that mostly people have it because it makes them get the
Aroused.
kind of arousal quicker because it's near the nerve endings or something of that sort. How?
You're just,
So they
you're
remain
just
aroused.
damaging your vulva.
Yeah.
You damage
And
your
the
vulva.
nerves.
You're predisposing yourself to infections, long-term complications. So you can have, if you have a tattoo, then you have an infection. Then it heals like with scar tissue and fibrosis, then affects your sexual function,
Yeah.
like chronic pain with intercourse. can affect your delivery as well, because if everything is fibrosed, like your normal tissue is like flexible, soft, can stretchable.
Yeah.
But then if you have fibrosed tissue or scarred tissue, then that doesn't stretch like normal tissue. So you can get like tears during delivery, end up going for a CS, like all that stuff. So all these things that we do now have implications down the
Later.
line. Yeah.
Okay.
Of course, I'm like I'm not a very old man. Like you can do what you want to do.
You're not.
You can do what you want to do, but
Down the line.
maybe ask
Ipo
a doctor
siko.
before you do it. Go to a very,
Kuramba.
very hygienic place.
Yeah.
Take care of it properly. Do it if you, I don't know, do you have to?
The pressure.
The pressure is wasting it.
Acha tuulize jamani watazamaji, do you have to?
Do you really have to?
have
Yeah.
to?
Yeah.
Because people do it for now.
Yeah.
But think about when you're
Older.
Like when you're 50, 60
Attic.
with a vulval tattoo and 3
And a
piercings
piercing.
on your clitoris.
I don't think mtu ukienda ukichorwa ama you getting the piercing you think about what
Ukiwa
sasa
kashosho
nikiwa
on the
60
skin.
you don't
Or
think
think about
it.
when you're pregnant, like how's that going to affect your
Ay,
delivery?
mimba saa ngapi? You don't even think about me.
Baadaye.
Yeah. Okay.
Mimba saa ngapi?
Let me ask, yeah? Oh Lord, guy, niko kwa mimba saa ngapi? Why is this sleeping?
All right, let me ask something as you recollect
Yeah.
your thoughts. Sasa, ulikuwa umegusia kidogo about tampons. So tampons, panty liners and pads in general. Pia kuna hygiene ambayo inafaa kuja nayo. Otherwise, unajua this time our bodies because of hormones and everything else, the pH pia inakuja inabadilika. So it's very easy at this moment to get infected, the infections kwa sababu pH inakuja inabadilika. At the same time, I feel like we always want to go an extra mile to just wash down there. Unajua? Huh?
Why?
It's because there's blood. It's
Oh,
during that
during your
time
period, you
during
mean?
your period,
Fine.
yeah.
I thought just general.
During your period, yeah.
Because it goes back to that thing of, I said, like, what you put on it, what you put in it, what you do
Yes.
with it. So, like Jules had mentioned earlier about cotton underwear. So, like, we're trying to move away from nylon and
Polyester.
Silk.
this tight thing, silk. So, the most hypoallergenic or the most natural is cotton.
Okay.
So pure cotton underwear, and then change your underwear drawer every 6 months or so. You can change it more frequently if you're having recurrent infections.
Okay.
And then for your pads, tampons, menstrual cups are fine, but they have like how to use them. So like if you're using panty liners, then you're changing it often. If you're on your period, you're changing your pad every 3 to 4 hours. Ata kama haijaja. If you're using,
Yeah.
So you shouldn't go with a pad the whole day just
Yeah,
because
haijaja.
Up to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
every 3 to 4 hours you should change it.
Yeah.
And then with menstrual cups, then the hygiene that goes into it before you put it in. So like you wash your hands, you sterilize your menstrual cup, how you put it in, and then how often you change it as well. So hata kama ijaja, again, another 3-4 hours, unatoa, una change.
Tampons?
I know tampons as well. So tampons actually is probably the most dangerous of the menstrual products.
Really?
Because people can forget.
Oh,
So
they
I've had,
have it.
we have a couple of cases where maybe you've gone out, umekunywa, then you put in a tampon, then you forget. So naamka kesho umesahau ulieka ingine. So
And then unaeka nyingine.
unaeka
And
nyingine.
maybe you're 6 inches.
Imepotelea huko ndani. Yeah, so there's something called, I don't know if you've heard of toxic shock syndrome, TSS.
Yeah.
No,
So it's
no,
it can be
Tell us
yeah.
about it, please.
Yeah, so it's because of a forgotten tampon or a lost tampon, as they call it.
Yeah.
So, your menstrual blood and your vagina is like a rich environment for infection.
Yeah.
So like a moist environment with period blood and all that stuff. So ukisahau tampon ndani, then you can get a life-threatening bacterial infection. People have died from infection caused by a lost tampon. And we have patients coming to the clinic, like it has probably the worst smell that gynecologists experience. So if you think you've lost a tampon, you have a very severe smell, you need to run, not go to your doctor, you need to run to your doctor.
That sounds very serious.
So you come, we examine, we remove the tampon, we put you on strong antibiotics. Some people need admission, some people even go to ICU.
People
so tampons,
die.
you can die from a lost tampon. For
Goodness,
menstrual
yeah.
health, yeah.
So I've remembered. I want you to tie lifestyle and the cleanliness of the vagina. For example, yogurt. So we have people who apply yogurt on the vagina because apparently it has some bacteria, and we have people who recommend drinking yogurt, just as an example.
Oh, the probiotics.
The
one.
So,
probiotics.
yogurt is a good probiotic if drunk. Again, we said you don't need to apply anything on your vagina. So with the probiotics, it's more of a systemic thing than a local thing. So local is like ukiapply kitu hapa, and then systemic is when you take it and then it now goes into your whole system or your body. So systemic effects are more important than local effects for yogurt. So yogurt is part of like a healthy lifestyle. So if you're eating your veggies, eating your fruits, you're drinking enough water, you don't smoke heavily, you don't drink heavily. So all those things come together to ensure your vagina is healthy.
And
So don't
cranberry
apply.
juice.
Cranberry juice for UTIs is quite good.
CMOS.
CMOS, I don't have
Inafanya
enough
kitu
experience
kweli.
with CMOS.
Inafanya kitu
So
kweli,
CMOS,
CMOS.
the same was up with okra and all those things. Same was up, no.
Okra water.
Ni uongo.
Okra,
I
I mean,
thought
because you know,
it's,
like okra water it's a vegetable. It's just it's like I don't know if you know like mrenda. Do you know?
Yeah,
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 slimy.
yeah. So people think because you're eating something slimy, your vagina will be slimy. Those
Lubricate.
those
That's it.
systems are very different.
For real.
So what we have found is like it works again because of psychology. Because you know a lot of your sexual health is psychological.
It is.
So if you're happy, you're in a safe relationship,
becomes slippery and
sex
then you're
is
like-
less painful. Sex is you have more lubrication because
Yeah.
you're more relaxed. So if you think that nimekunywa hii okra water,
Hiyo ndio inaleta.
then italeta, but it's not because of the okra. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Must be the okra water. It's not.
Same was up. With
Wamama wa
CMOS.
okra wameuza.
Again, if something is very commercial,
Yeah.
ask yourself why. And no doctor is promoting it. Ask yourself why.
All right. So nataka turudi pale kwa discharge. What is normal discharge and what is not? What is abnormal?
So every woman has discharge. So normal discharge usually would be either mucoid discharge, depending on the time of your cycle, or light white discharge. And then the quantity also varies depending on your cycle. So sometimes you'll have increased discharge, sometimes you'll have less discharge. If you have discharge that's an off color, so if you have green discharge, brown discharge, yellow discharge, red discharge, and you're not on your period. If you have period that has an offensive smell, so can smell like the fishy odor, like bacterial vaginosis, can smell like rotten eggs, can smell like for the lost tampons, I think the best way to say it just smells like death.
Fish
So,
smell.
Yeah,
so
money.
fishy odor. So off color, off smell, and then associated symptoms. So if you have this discharge that's not normal for you and you had sex, it was painful, it's not usually
Yeah.
painful. Or you have bleeding after intercourse, that's not normal. Or you have now, like if it's bad, then you have fevers and vomiting and severe lower abdominal pain, all that stuff. Yeah, so again, goes back to that thing of what's normal for you. So know what discharge is normal for you. If it changes, then you can seek medical care.
Okay. On smell, tied to what I had asked about lifestyle. So we've just mentioned a few, but I've remembered pineapples. They say pineapples help with the smell of the vagina. Does it really do anything? Ama ni okra ingine?
It does. So pineapples, because what you ingest then goes into your system, and then what goes into your system then inevitably ends up coming out through your different pores, so to speak. So if you eat pineapples, then it helps with the smell of the vagina. But it doesn't mean that
smelling like
this
pineapple.
is like the pineapples again goes back to the vegetables, fruits, healthy lifestyle. It's all part of that. It's not just you only eat pineapples. You eat everything and you live up like a holistic, healthy lifestyle. It's not that you'll be smoking heavily, drinking heavily,
And then you use pineapple.
and then you hope that
Okay.
your vagina
Sounds like
will
pineapples,
smell
yeah.
like pineapples.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that I would say has an element of truth to it. Unlike hizi vitu zingine mmekuwa mkisema.
Sa unaona ikija pale ambapo tunaongelea kuhusu discharge and the smell especially ndio unapata you'd want to use a lavender scent, you know, you'd want to use the perfumes, the sprays, you know, kwa sababu unaona kama vile umedescribe umesema it's fishy, it's either rotten eggs or it's death.
Yeah.
Sasa mtu akisikia hivyo utakosa kutumia jamani hizo nini.
So if that's the thing, if you have those smells, then it means you should not be going to the supermarket to buy things to spray. You should be going to your doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay.
with infections, the thing we say is untreated infections can have long-term consequences.
Yeah.
Especially if you get like pelvic inflammatory disease, PID, and that PID can affect your tubes, can then affect your fertility, can give you long-term, what's called chronic pelvic pain. So you're in pain all the time, not just during your periods. So it has long-term effects.
Okay.
So for infections, if you know what's normal for you, you've picked up what's not normal, umona daktari, na amekutibu, then all those things are prevented.
Tumeongea mambo mengi about the vulvas, the vaginas. What does hygiene looks like ikija katika wanaume?
For men.
Yeah.
So for men, I think the hygiene is a bit easier because everything is external and we don't have as much, can I call it open?
Yeah.
Layers.
Openings.
Yeah,
And
layers of it kind of. So
Yeah.
for men, yeah, of course, men's genital hygiene is still really important. For men, because a lot of, so you see, like for the inner lips of your vulva and your vagina, it's all that mucosa I was telling you, like the inner lining of your
Mouth.
like your cheek inside.
Yeah.
But for men, the only part that's exposed is the tip of the penis. So the rest of it is normal skin.
Yeah.
So men can use soaps, they can do anything. But also for men, like not to put any, there are some people with like sexual kinks and stuff of inserting things in the urethra, and
why?
there's men's sex toys,
It's
you
a
know, yeah?
kink.
Yeah,
a kink.
yeah.
That's a question.
What
No,
was
no,
just
no,
talking?
Okay.
Yeah, so for men, they shower normally twice a day as usual. Cotton underwear as well, or cotton boxers, so to speak, is preferable. If you cleaning before sex, cleaning after sex, all that is important.
Nataka tuingie huko. Sasa, there are also men who normally have the piercings and the tattoos, so that is also not
Same was up.
same was up as CCP Amadem.
And they do also have penile discharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So penile discharge is, so women can have abnormal discharge, men can have abnormal discharge. It's less common for men, unless you have like an STI, like chlamydia and gonorrhea, the most common causes of abnormal penile discharge in men. So for a man, by the time I'm going to discharge, he has pain passing urine, that's most likely an STI.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is your hygiene routine before, during, and after intercourse? Do you have one that is?
Hypothetically,
Yeah.
okay, definitely there is this notion. It's a notion. It's a fact. You should pay after sex because of the pH.
Yes.
Nah, is it UTIs as well? Lamani?
Yeah, because you wash away any bacteria that's around the urethral opening or the pee hole.
Okay, yeah. So there is the bit about paying after sex. You can shower.
Yes.
Na kutumia wipes. Sasa hapa wacha niseme zenye ni unscented, because nimeona we're leaning more onto the unscented bits of like things that we are supposed to use for cleaning.
Yeah.
So unscented wipes. Okay, I've not been using unscented wipes.
It's time to practice. Yeah.
Itabidi nimetafuta.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marlene.
Nalala kama ng'ombe.
No,
I think-
Marlene, wait. So,
No, I don't want to lie to you. There's no routine. Unless you
before,
ask
during,
me.
and after.
There's no okay. Let me say, because now I'm not sexually active, but there was no routine. It's not like, okay, Gladwell, do you look forward to that moment after alafu nakimbia to the shower? Ya ukweli.
Sasa
Yeah, so that is what I mean. Like, there is no routine. It's not something at the back of the mind ati after.
Lazima sasa.
Yeah, yeah, but I think it's important to have that. Yeah.
So, what used to be mine was shower before.
Before.
Yeah. Especially
Make
if you
it
plan to
part
do
of
other
the-
things.
You can make it part of the process.
The foreplay.
Yeah, like shower together. That is so, like intimacy just doesn't start with penetration.
It's
it starts,
true.
in fact,
Ama
the whole
kugonga
day or a
clitoris
few days
ngumi.
before.
What
Yeah.
kind of things have you been experiencing?
Yes, please. Yes, sir. You're saying.
What have you been experiencing? So yeah, shower before and also after, of
Yeah.
course, and the peeing vile Glado pia amesema after. Yeah.
And then
But now what is the correct way?
So
Like
what you-
before,
yeah.
during, na after.
During.
not showering.
Not
during.
showering during. But I'm saying in regards to tunaongea kuhusu intimate hygiene.
Okay.
So I think
Yeah.
it starts even before you get to the point where you're undressing with the partner. So like knowing your partner. So STI testing, HIV testing for every new partner, and then if it's a long-term partner, every year. Because like we ask ladies, how many partners have you had in the last year? They say, I only have one. Then I ask, what about your partner? They say,
Ndo hapo.
The situationship.
you don't know. Yeah, you don't
No
know.
idea.
They say,
Sina
as
maoni.
far as I know, he has had one, but you can never be too sure. So test regularly, test with each new partner. You're correct, you shower before sex. Yeah, if you're having intercourse, then possibly if you can use condoms. Because even with testing, there's these things called window period. So unaweza test HIV leo, it shows negative, but you're in the window period of like 28 days or so. So you can still turn positive and you can still spread it during the window period. So the fact that a test is negative now doesn't mean that you'll be negative in 2 weeks, for example. Yeah. And then sex toys have to be clean as well.
No sharing.
No sharing sex toys, please. Yeah. So clean, I mean,
I don't even own. I can't even give you.
yeah.
You want-
Yes, yes. You should.
And then people think like you only put on a condom for the penetrative part. So most people don't think of using condoms for
Foreplay.
For and to use the proper term, for fellatio blowjobs. So for fellatio cunnilingus, but you should use condoms with any sexual contact, whether it's oral, vaginal, anal. And then with anal also it's a problem because if you have anal sex and then immediately proceed to have vaginal sex, then you're moving the bacteria, really bad bacteria from
the back.
the back to
the
the front.
Sasa umeenda sana pale kwa sijui facial cunnilingus hapo, rudi hapo.
Fellatio, blowjob.
Fellatio, hapo na
Tumerudi
blowjob.
hapo.
Explain yani sasa vizuri ni nini?
Yeah.
Maanake umesema hapa ndo watu wanafaa kutumia protection.
Condom.
Yeah.
So just explain what exactly it is in layman's language.
So fellatio is oral sex.
Yeah.
Men's oral sex. Blowjob is the proper term is fellatio. So with that, like as I said again, the mucous membranes, your mouth, the mucous membranes are the same as your vagina.
Yeah.
So you can still get chlamydia in your mouth. You can still get gonorrhea in your mouth. You can get throat cancer, tongue cancer.
Goodness.
From infections.
Yeah.
Some people are allergic to semen, sperm as well, semen. So I get a lot of patients come and say, oh, not a lot, but some patients. I had sex with my man immediately after. I had this burning, itching sensation. Then you could be allergic to your partner's sperm. So there are tests for that, and there's treatment for that. It's called desensitization. Yeah. So you can be allergic to sperm.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how
Mimi naweza phrase.
Fungua roho tu.
mi narudi bado hapa kwa blowjobs ambazo wanasema guys are supposed to use protection.
Yeah.
Yes, you should put on
Pia
a
mimi
condom
niko
for
hapo na wewe.
blowjobs.
The dental.
The man them should put on a condom.
So the man can put on a condom, and for the women, there's something called dental dams.
We spoke
Yeah.
about dental
Yeah,
dams.
so dental dams are like the equivalent for women.
But how does that happen? How is
But some people may be allergic hata to the rubber that is used to manufacture the condom. So like hata najaribu
The
tu
latex.
imagine. Yeah. I don't know how many people would honestly be willing to just abstinence. But to just put like that
Dental
rubber
dams.
in their mouth.
So
I don't know.
there's latex condoms and there's latex-free condoms. So if you're allergic to latex, then there's still an option. So there's never that story of I'm allergic to condoms. That's why we can't have sex with condoms. That's the story too. There's alternatives.
that is what
Any
men
jabber concern.
sio ndo nyinyi mnapenda kutumia kutuambia wasichana
Fear men.
all day jamani. So mtu ambao atasema hivyo anatudanganya.
Ni uongo. There's alternatives for latex-free condoms, yeah.
Okay. Does flavors affect the vagina?
Some, again, we said the scents and things. So different people, in fact,
Chocolate.
I think
Chocolate
in the UK is where I saw
specifically.
everything. There are guys even allergic to pigment. Pigment is like color. Like allergic to the color.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So pigment is like in food coloring.
Yeah.
In clothes, like the dye that you use for nguos.
Yeah.
In the color of the condom, all that stuff. So
Yeah.
people are allergic to all sorts of things. But you'll only know when you're exposed to it. That's the problem.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so if you use a certain brand of pads and you really react, then maybe you're allergic to a component of the pads, whether the material or any chemicals that are used to make it. So only when you're exposed really is when you'll know.
You'll know. Interesting.
Marlene, I thought you were asking, okay, maybe I understood you wrongly. When you're talking about chocolate, are you talking like about a condom that is chocolate scented? Or you're talking about the actual chocolate or like the way they spread like whipped cream? I mean, it does happen.
Yeah.
Like, is it?
Me, I was on the flavor and he's confirmed chocolate. The flavor doesn't react.
It does. Okay.
Well, but
Okay.
some people
Some
are
people
allergic,
do,
as you
yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for if it were not condoms and we're talking about actual maybe
Food,
chocolate
flavor,
or whipped cream
yeah.
that has been
Yeah.
whipped onto the vaginal
Or
onto
strawberry
the vulva.
or yogurt.
And then that goes
Foreplay.
in with sex.
Yeah, because
So that's
it's
a
part of
problem.
the. It is a problem.
Again, putting things in your vagina. Like, why are you putting food products in your vagina?
See, experimenting.
Hey.
That's not where they belong.
Not,
Not on those lips.
But I
They belong
thought.
on cake.
On the
On the
pillow.
other lips.
Yeah.
On the pillow, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Especially if it's going inside, then that's a problem. Yeah.
What if it's not going inside? It's just
The
on the
opening.
vulva.
Hey, you're justifying
On the vulva
that.
is-
Nini.
It's actually a
But
really
if it's on the
genuine
vulva
concern.
and you're having penetrative intercourse, inevitably it will go in.
Itashika.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
We.
Sasa
That
mi niko na
bit is
swali
clear.
nyingine. You said kuna watu who react to
Semen.
semen, right? So hapa shida, what is the problem? Is it the man? Is it
It's a combination. So it's like the
The
proteins in the
lady.
man's semen reacting to the immune system of the woman's vagina.
Can that be changed?
That can be, you can have something called, so there's tests for it. So you can test and your partner's sperm, like they make
sample?
like a small sample of the semen
Yeah.
of the fluid, and then
Yeah.
that's like injected under your skin. And then if you react, so there's a reaction called will and flare. So watu wakiona allergy,
How it
wanapata zile
flares up.
vidundo, eh?
Yeah.
So if they get that, then now we can say you're allergic to your partner's semen. Then you can do what's called desensitization therapy. So there's like allergy specialists even in Nairobi. So unaweza fanya desensitization therapy. You can use antihistamines before intercourse. You can use, of course, condoms to prevent
That's
contact.
a whole lot of things.
And then you do all those things alafu akuache.
Yeah.
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 That is
So
a lot.
there
eh?
is treatment for almost everything. It's just that people suffer in silence.
Don't seek
Yeah.
help.
And
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people are even aware about that. Personally, I'm learning about
Yeah.
Semen
being allergic
reaction.
to semen and that the fact that there are actually tests to do
And
it.
therapies for it, yeah.
Yeah, and the protein that makes up the semen, is it like depending on whatever a person eats? Because kuna watu ambao wana crave njugu sana. Some
Anakuwa
people
na
taste
hizo
protein.
protein. Ni hizo
And what's
mkombero,
like, is it
njugu,
those
akunywi
things?
maji.
No. It's just we call it like your physiology, like how your
Okay.
body functions, how it produces stuff. But it's not,
It's not based on what you
no.
eat.
Really? Because most men don't do fruits and water
njugu
properly.
tu kila
Njugu na mkombero
Na pombe.
pekee. Kwanza na pombe.
Hati njugu na mkombe.
So, you haven't mentioned about hygiene after sex. Yeah.
So
Tulikuwa
after
tumefika hapo
sex,
kwa BJs.
You mentioned wipes. Wipes is it's a gray area again. Like if you're using, because they're water-based wipes, water only. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there are wipes that are scented, wipes that have alcohol. So definitely no alcohol wipes, no scented wipes. The water ones, like the ones you'd use for babies, if you're cleaning up babies, we change diapers, then those
Yeah.
probably are safer. So you can use wipes, but if you can shower.
Shower.
Even better.
Better.
Yeah.
And peeing.
And peeing after sex as well. So that's important. So peeing before, peeing after.
Yeah.
So it just washes away any bacteria that's there. And then any bacteria that may have entered the urethra, where the urine comes out from.
Yeah.
And then when you wash, then you wash out the rest of the bacteria from the outside. So you clean inside by peeing and you clean outside by washing.
What if somebody doesn't have the urine to pee after sex? Like, can you pee way later after sex? Maybe during that time, you don't have the urine. I mean, will you force something to come out of the urethra if it's not there?
Hydration.
Yeah, I was about to say kunywa maji.
If you're well hydrated, you can almost
Pee immediately.
pee at any time, even if it's kidogo. Because you don't need like
Look at an entire...
you just need to pee
Hose
kidogo.
pipe.
Yeah,
But
not a
then
hose pipe.
on
Yeah.
that, we know the pee comes from the urethra and then there's the vagina. How does that help? And it's two like different ninis.
So they're next to each other. So like the urethra and the vaginal opening are just a very few centimeters apart.
Yeah.
So the bacteria we're talking about is in the process of intercourse, the man is in contact with the urethra, the vagina, the space between your vagina and your
And
anus.
your
It's called your
anus,
perineum. So that whole area is in contact during sexual contact.
So when you pee,
when you pee, then you clean out you prevent UTIs because you're cleaning out the upper hole, so to speak, the urethra. Yeah.
Kuna kuangana hizi zinaitwaje wipes, you kama umeona, the whole vaginal wipes.
For what?
For your vagina.
Ziko na
Vaginal
nini?
opening.
I always say, like, okay, I don't know the specific brand you're talking about, but a lot of these wipes have chemicals, preservatives, alcohol. All that stuff is abrasive and it's toxic to your vagina.
So you just shower.
Yeah.
To
Just
avoid
shower.
mambo mengi,
Yeah.
just shower.
Yeah.
Option.
And that's
Okay.
cheap and it's free.
Kwa hivyo ikija katika intimate hygiene, is it different for people who have raw sex and those who have protected sex?
So if you have protected sex, then you're less likely to get, because condoms prevent against infections, so STIs and things like that. If you're having unprotected intercourse, then there's that thing about them. The semen is basic and the vaginal pH is acidic. So people think like if you have unprotected sex, then you're more likely to get like bacterial vaginosis because it alters the pH. But we say it's a transient change in pH. So it'll raise the pH a bit to be more basic, but only transiently. So once the sperm washes out and your bacteria balance out and produce more acid, then it balances out. So unprotected intercourse in and of itself doesn't permanently change your pH. It might change it for a short period of time, like just a few hours, and then your body balances back up. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, but of course now it's the STIs and things like that is the bigger concern.
About it. All right. So guys, hiyo ndo tulikuwa topic ya leo. Jamani, syllabus imesonga sana. Mambo ya intimate hygiene, mambo ni mengi. Remember, it's the vulva, the vagina is uko internal, all right? So we've also gotten to know the parts and the do's and the don'ts and what is right, what is not right. Discharge pia, nini inakaa normal kwako, nini ni abnormal. So make sure mwenyewe, yani you're very keen about yourself, about your body, how you feel, so that you're able to notice any changes, all right? And make sure anytime unaona kuna change, jamani, from your smell, from your how you feel, yeah, from any reaction, any small irritation, make sure unaenda kwa daktari. Don't ask, I can't ask Glado, ile time ulikuwa na hii smell, ulitumia nini? Because I know what tunapenda sana over the counter, jamani.
Yeah.
Tunapenda over the counter, tunapenda pale online pia, Amazon nini. Lakini jamani, make sure unaenda kwa daktari, sindio? Because what might have irritated you is not necessarily kenye labda inani irritate, all right? Kwa sababu labda mali inalitumia sabuni, but maybe for me it's an irritation because it's the time of the month for me, na kuna kitu ambayo inaleta irritation kwangu. So yes, so make sure the first option ambaye what you do, rather you seek medical attention, all right? Yeah, Mr. Chris Obwaka, asante sana.
Thank you very much for having me.
Your gynecologist. Woo, watu wa UK jamani. Represented.
Watu wananuka ndege.
Ni makofi tena kwa Mr. Chris Obwaka. Watu wanapata wapi? How do people find you and social, how much is it?
My all my socials is just Dr. Chris Obwaka.
Okay.
So simple like that. Hakuna ma underscore, na ma hyphen, na ma nini.
Na dots.
Kuna dots. So just Dr. Chris Obwaka.
Uppercase ama kuna uppercase?
All lowercase.
Okay.
Everything simple, yeah. My current clinic is at NSSF building.
Okay.
Inaitwa Gilead Women's Center. I'm open with my number as well. So
You can share it.
yeah, my number is 0727 093 393. So we're breaking down those barriers to access, really.
Yeah.
So ukitaka kuniona nakwambia pigia PA, pigia receptionist, and that time maybe of an emergency. So if you can reach me directly, then yeah. Sina chochote cha kuficha.
I know by the time this episode itakuwa ina air, maybe utakuwa umechange location.
Yes. So we are working on a new project, a new specialist women's health clinic.
Okay.
Wow.
Itaitwa Nari Women's Center, NARI, and will be along Lenana Road at 197 Lenana Place. So work in progress. Maybe by September, God willing, tutakuwa tumefungua a nice new place for ladies to come.
Okay. All right. Thank you guys. Umelan kitu? Umelan nini
Yeah.
mali?
A lot of things.
Kama ni tupatie moja tukienda.
Esho unanieka on the spot.
Umelan
Guys
nini
have
Glado?
learned.
Amelag. Aya, mimi nimelearn that people can be allergic to semen. I honestly didn't know that bit. Now, another surprising fact niyo using mouth dams, stroke condoms for fellatio, blowjob, oral sex. Yeah. Otherwise, mi nimefurahia because I feel like hatujui kuwa na an OB-GYN ambaye ni male.
Yes.
So this is a different episode. It was very insightful. I just loved and enjoyed every bit of it. I hope the audience as well will enjoy. In case wako na questions that watatokea hapo comment section.
Yes.
Amepeana number. You can reach out. Unaweza mpata pale kwa
Social media.
Social media. Mtandao.
Yeah.
That's it from me.
Marlin?
No, I will just say, no, listen.
Yeah.
I will just say, actually, I'm trying to put it in one sentence. It can't, but it has been really an insightful conversation. And also just having in mind that, some of us are biased. Kuna wale, they walk, they see a female gyna, they're like, no. Mm-hmm. But I think what you've said is really important. And there are also those who can't go to a male gyna. Yeah. The fact that people will treat you sometimes from the experiences and be like, don't do this, don't do this. It's because they think it didn't work for them. But it's really amazing. Like everything we've talked about is amazing.
Okay.
Something.
All right.
Yeah.
So tumesikia jamani, the vagina in a self-cleanse.
Cleanse.
All right.
Self-cleansing.
Kwa hivyo inamaanisha jamani, ikija katika just your intimate hygiene, you don't really need to do much. In fact, less is more, right? Be a minimalist ikikuja katika your your routine ya kule chini jamani. Yeah, just be a minimalist. Kipande tu iko sawa, gunia jamani, tusugue hivyo sana. Atutoe vitu huko, vitu ziko sawa mahali kuko, hakuna kuingiza vitu jamani huko as well. All right, and yeah, thank you so much, Doctor. What have you learned from us?
There's a lot of misconceptions. There's a lot of things that people do that they shouldn't be.
What
I know guys will come for me on socials like watu wa okra, watu wa boric acid, watu wa herbals, watu wa yoni. Same was up.
Jamani, tutabadilisha daktari. And thank you guys so much. I hope you have also learned a thing or two. Make sure to comment down below kama kuna maswali daktari amesema you can reach out to him. At the same time pia, it's not only about getting information but the right information. So na make sure too you also interact with our chatbot ambayo ni Wazzii, that is wazzii.ke, na hashtag ambayo unatumia for our podcast is space yako the podcast. Until later, jamani.
Bye.
Yogurt mukunyo musipake. Chocolate, jamani.
In not on.
Tell me. Daktari, what else? Tell them something else. You understand?
Cranberry juice is fine. Kunywa cranberry juice. Oga.
Oga nayo kabisa.
Oga. Sio okra.
Umesikia oga nayo.
Yeah.
I like. All right, bye guys. Asante.